Okay, for those of you just tuning in, stay tuned for just a little bit. We had some minor issues last night, shall we say. I don't know how much of it was our gremlins or how much of it was the Book of Faces gremlins. I'm really not too sure. All I do know is that we had about 20 minutes worth of video last night on Thursday, and when I looked at it afterwards, we only had approximately 9 seconds worth of complete and total video. So whether or not that lasts, I'm hoping that this goes on all right. So I've got my Facebook page loaded up on another computer and on my phone, and it looks like everything is working for right now. I just really don't want to have to go through a half an hour's worth of prep to have a problem like we did from last night. So apologies for this rather long and rambling start to weather overtime for tonight, but want to make certain that we are not getting bamboozled here by the Book of Faces for what happened last night. I really don't want to have to go through that again. That was a lot of effort for nothing. Okay, seems like we are working for right now. So we'll go ahead and kick off things and see what's going on. So, assuming we are still online, and it looks like hopefully we are, according to my various sources here. So for right now, oops, just had a freeze. Hope that doesn't mean we got kicked off, because I really don't want to start over again. So for right now, again, this is weather overtime for Friday, July 14th, 2023. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek, live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee. It is warm, it is muggy, there's clouds out there. We've got a few showers developing back to our east. We'll take a look at Titan radar coming up here in just a little while. We'll also take a look into the future and see what we've got going on. Got questions about the forecast? Ask them. If I can't answer them, we'll see if we can send you someplace to where you can get some answers from and get you updated as to what's going on out there. It is going to be hot this weekend. Yes, I know that's not original news, but we are going to be seeing more potential for hotter weather going on throughout the next several days. So if what we've been experiencing recently is not enough for you, just wait, because we'll be looking at some much hotter temperatures coming our way. Not record-breaking, but not exactly all that great for being outdoors for longer periods of time. Let's go ahead and start off with the details on the data for right now and see what we've got going on. So for the time being, very close to where we should be, just above normal for this time of the year. Nothing in the rain gauge, now behind for the month and for the year. We're behind by over an inch and a half or so. For the time being, and record high 103 set back in 1954, and a record low that hasn't been broken since before I was born. So that is getting to be some long periods of time away before we saw anything involving some cooler weather around here, where it came to anything involving temperatures nice back in the 50s or so. And when you get into this territory here, you know you've got some hot weather going on. We're approaching the midsection of summertime, and the numbers are just on their way up out there. Jeff Peterson, thanks for checking in for tonight. And subtropical fish storm Don, yes, we will talk about Don in just a little bit. If I can get the computer to work, we may take a look at Calvin out in the Pacific and whether or not that's going to be a problem for Hawaii coming up in the next few days. Let's go ahead and take a look around the cameras for right now. Sylvester the Spider hanging out on the camera lens at Island Cove on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. A lot of clouds out there. We do have, again, some breaks in the clouds way over there toward the northwest, but outside of that, not really seeing too much in the way of clear conditions out there. From downtown Chattanooga, the field lit up, AT&T Field, for the Lookouts taking on the Braves tonight, and in the bottom of the seventh, the Lookouts are beating up on Mississippi 12-5. Hopefully that trend continues. We'll see how far that goes. We'll have more on sports tonight with Rick Nyman at News at 11. Stay tuned for more on that. From Lee Point, Highway 153 and 64 interchange, hazy, but otherwise nothing coming down in the way of rainfall for the time being. From the News 12 studios in downtown Chattanooga, the north flank of Lookout Mountain, visible just barely after sunset tonight. Not much of a sunset out there. If you're in and around Chattanooga, this is going to be an area to avoid. this weekend as a lot of construction effort gears up. So 75 to 24 westbound and 75 northbound. We could be looking at more heavy backups than usual during the weekend. So this may be an area to avoid. May want to think about taking Battlefield Parkway, I think, just south of this area, and over to the east, anything going around that area, taking 153 around if at all possible. So if you're traveling this weekend, again, please keep an eye on this location on your travel maps, because it looks like things are not going to be too fun around the 24-75 split. Temperature is still in the high 80s, even approaching 10 o'clock at night. Humidity at 61%, winds light out of the southwest at about 3 miles an hour, so doing a grand total of nothing to cool anybody off out there. We did have some pretty good thunderstorms early on, well back over to our west, and we do have some remnant rainfall making its way in, sprinkles only just before 10 o'clock, but beyond that we just really don't have much of anything taking place at this time. We did some of those thunderstorms. We also had some showers and still do over parts of northern Georgia right before the 10 o'clock hour, and a lot of that activity over parts of northeastern Alabama has basically dwindled down to nothing. There's hardly anything left. We do have some thunderstorms, some severe weather east of Atlanta, and we may see some more severe weather into the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. Want to thank our own multimedia manager, Courtney Goins, for a gorgeous view. I believe that is a sunset, if I'm not mistaken, looking off toward the west on that coast of Florida, but I'm not an expert on Florida, so beautiful view either way, and thank you very much to Ms. Goins for sending in a nice picture from St. Petersburg Beach in Florida. That's our West Shore home weather window picture of the day, our second beach picture in a row, by the way, so thanks to everybody for sending in some great ones. We'll be posting the pictures we saw this week later on our social media pages, and if you've got a picture to share, please send it in to us, drop them to our social media pages, or email them to us at pictures@wdef.com. We'd love to see what you're seeing out there and to give everybody a view as to what you're looking at through your camera lens. We don't really have an organized system coming through at this point. What we do have is a ton of moisture, and that is being driven northward from the Gulf of Mexico. This one storm system sitting back out to the west of us that's causing some severe weather up around Kansas and Missouri. This is going to be making its way through, intersecting all this warm, moist, unstable air, and that, as it makes its way toward the east coast, will both give us the potential of showers and thunderstorms toward about Saturday and Sunday, and then we start to see a little less activity coming through back to the west of us, which means less showers and thunderstorms, but that also means more sunshine, and that means our temperatures are going to be heading up relatively soon. So we could be seeing, again, a decent amount of problems with that. We'll take a look at that in the 7-day forecast coming up here in just a little while. We don't have any heat advisories where we are, but as that heat dome out west gets closer to us, we will see the potential. There were some heat advisories for Alabama earlier. Those have since been dropped from this map, but better part of 16 states or so, including basically the entire state of California, have been under some form of heat advisory, and that includes now stretching up into Colorado, Utah, and Idaho. So if you're planning on heading out west, this is where we're seeing the bulk of the heat, but that is sliding its way now, aiming toward east of the Mississippi River. Not seeing the temperatures that they're seeing out west, but we are going to be seeing, again, a decent amount of this heat dome, as it's called. The bright red and the pink and white colors, those are temperatures over 100, even over 110 degrees. Now, as we go into this animation, you're going to see, again, the pulsing of daytime, nighttime temperatures, but you're also going to see the heat starting to spread a little farther to the west, including through the Metroplex into much of Texas, Oklahoma, and then a lot of those very warm temperatures in the 90s are going to be heading in to areas close to us. Now, we're not going to be seeing, again, I really don't think we're going to be seeing record-breaking temperatures, but what I do think is that it's going to be very miserably uncomfortable out there. Again, hopefully your AC unit is tuned up and ready to go, because you are going to need it as we go into next week. I may have to review the heat safety rules coming up, because I did them last night before Facebook video went away for the evening hours. So again, we'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Very much on the warmer side to our west, according to the Climate Prediction Center's 10-day outlook. We're going to be seeing slightly hotter temperatures. Again, not record-breaking for now, but that really depends on how this flow sets up. We will be picking up more chances of rainfall relatively soon. It looks like in the 6 to 10 day outlook, but not a great deal of it. More potential of rainfall here, less into Texas and less up into parts of the Pacific Northwest states. But for right now, that's going to be, again, about the worst of the worst that we see at this time. This is not good news for us where it comes to visibility and air quality, and we'll explain why on that in just a little bit, so stick around for more. Let's go ahead and run through the numbers as we go into the rest of the forecast. Going into, let's see, that's the 48, let's go 72 hour. So we have a better idea as to what's going on. Okay, so for tonight and into tomorrow morning, low temperatures, not that low, mid-70s only. Showers and thunderstorms, a line develops back to our west and then moves our direction. What kind of an effect that has on us, we'll take a look at severe weather in just a little bit. High temperatures with extra sunshine could rebound into the lower 90s, but I think we're going to be very close to normal about this time frame as we go into tomorrow, but chances of showers and thunderstorms will remain. Early Sunday morning, not cool. Back in the lower 70s for lows at best. High temperatures with stray showers and thunderstorms possible on Sunday, and highs aiming for the lower to mid 90s. And then early on Monday morning, two things to note at this time. Very much on the not cool side, we might make the upper 60s, but then back to our west, we might see that another portion of that front coming through. And if there is enough moisture for Monday, we may see the potential of some showers and thunderstorms. Not a great deal, but that is going to be a possible problem for Monday as well. After that, and again into the rest of this next week, looks pretty dry, and that's not necessarily great news out there with that heat dome approaching. What we're seeing on the 7-day forecast looks like this. Again, fairly mild into around Saturday and Sunday. Numbers very close to where they should be for this time of the year. Again, 91 is about spot on normal. Showers and thunderstorms there, maybe a rumble of thunder early on Monday if that front is able to stir up enough moisture, but kind of doubtful on that. Into the next several days, late Thursday, early Friday, that's where we get into the potential of more showers and thunderstorms coming on through. But for the rest of the week, more sunshine, less rainfall, and that means hotter temperatures coming on through. So for right now, not great news where it comes to the temperatures out there. Again, this is not record-breaking. It's not even close, but it is going to be upper 90s for some parts of the area. So if you have to work or exercise outdoors, please use caution and keep an eye on those working and exercising around with you at this time. We're still on Facebook. Last night I had been talking for 15 minutes and didn't even know that we were offline. Who knew? Tonight, the chance of severe weather has been removed from the forecast by the Storm Prediction Center. It's now back over the Mid-South area. The best potential of severe weather, North Panhandle of Texas, all the way up to around Chicago, Oklahoma City, Fort Smith, Springfield, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, and again back up into western Illinois. That's where we're seeing the worst of the worst. Now into tomorrow, and this forecast is caveat here. This forecast is several hours old, so whether or not this changes, we'll see in the next couple of forecasts here as to where we have a marginal threat. What we're seeing here for the potential of severe weather will be damaging winds and the potential of maybe some flash flooding coming our way with this. That should do it. The rest of the area, not seeing much of anything outside of just generic thunderstorm types, not seeing a big outbreak of severe weather for Saturday, and then for Sunday, the potential goes away. There will be potential for thunderstorms, yes, but the possibility of any severe weather will be way back up to our north, so not seeing, again, a big chance of anything really going on there. So hopefully a little bit quieter, but definitely getting hotter into the course of the next several days. So if you have to be outdoors, that's what you're going to have to deal with in the next several days. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the tropics as Mr. Peterson reminded me of what's going on. Nothing in the Gulf. That's good news. The Caribbean, because waters are insanely hot down there off the coast of Florida into the Keys. Official temperatures went over the limit of some of the water buoy temperature ranges. Some of them out there around southern Florida, the maximum number they could go was 97 degrees. So yesterday and the day before, as the temperatures went upwards, the numbers hit a plateau, and we couldn't even tell how hot it was because the buoys were not designed for numbers that warm. So temperatures reaching 100 degrees around the Keys in the water, superbly, hugely, amazingly hot water taking place here, and that is not good news for the environment or, again, for the oceans at large. I read on, I believe it was the National Center for Ice and Data information that we have from NOAA, that something like 40 million square miles are just baking out there in amazing amounts of heat being absorbed by the ocean. This is terrible, terrible news. Don, now a subtropical storm, showing a little bit better cohesion here. It is starting to develop a bit of a center, a bit of a spin, and we are showing again winds of 45 miles per hour. So we do have a verified tropical storm at this time, and this is heading back to the northwest. It's kind of looped around back to the northwest by just a little bit, and as it does, it is probably going to be doing a pretty good job of maybe developing just a little bit more according to what we've been seeing there. But for right now, it looks like, and I just lost my spaghetti. Hang on a second. Spaghetti plots, here we go. Most of what we're looking at for now is showing Don heading up into the colder waters. It's over some relatively warm water right now, but it looks like most of the spaghetti models are heading it up that direction. So taking it north will go from warmer to cooler waters, and that should do a good job of hopefully sapping some of its strength. It does not look to be a threat to the United States or to the Canadian maritime areas of eastern Canada. Whether or not that changes that way in the far future, we'll have to wait and see. But for right now, it does not look to be, again, a major threat for the time being. I don't have all the data loaded into this here, but let's take a look and see what's going on. And if we have that data, well, we have, again, right now, and I can't load it up while the show is in motion, but this is Hurricane Calvin just off the Mexican coast. Excuse me. And this is going to, again, be heading its way toward Hawaii if everything works. Winds right now, this is a major hurricane, winds of 125 miles per hour, and this looks like it is going to be making a beeline for Hawaii in the next several days. So for right now, and again, I apologize for not having the markers up here, major hurricane for the next couple of days, plain level 3 and below hurricane by Sunday morning, and then it looks like it diminishes to a tropical storm by early Monday, and by the time it hits Hawaii, we'll be seeing numbers back in the tropical storm status, 45 miles per hour, somewhere in there. But right now, if you're heading to Hawaii, this could be a bit of an issue as this storm makes its way across the Pacific. It'll be arriving in Hawaii, it looks like, by Wednesday. But for right now, it will arrive as a tropical storm. It is a big storm right now, powerful, Category 3. This is, again, Hurricane Calvin. Apologies for not getting the data on here, but this will be making its way to the west and going toward the Hawaiian Islands over the next couple of days, arriving there by about midweek. So if you're planning on arriving in Hawaii, could be some inclement weather starting there late Tuesday evening and going through possibly Wednesday evening from what it looks like as it heads off into the rest of the Pacific. So active into portions of the Pacific and the Atlantic. So starting to see a lot more activity going on with hurricane season in progress in both oceans. Talking about, again, what's going on out there, shifting briefly from hurricanes to wildfires. It looks like there is a potential that we may be seeing another round of smoke hitting our way, this time from western Canada. The area north of us, a cold front and an area of high pressure north of that up around the Arctic Circle, are combining to blast a good chunk of air down our direction. which might do a good job of dropping our temperatures after that forecast you saw, but it also looks like now we may be seeing another round of Canadian wildfire smoke heading for parts of the southeast United States, including the Tennessee River Valley News 12 viewing area. This is a scan, this is a forecast model for what is called vertically integrated smoke. That basically is for smoke at the higher levels of the atmosphere. And as such, it's a little bit easier to predict this than, again, with the patterns in the atmosphere than it is to show what happens down toward the surface. So hopefully we're not going to see too much in the way of problems like we did a few weeks ago, but there are signs right now that we may be looking at a potential return to some smoke into the next several days from around Alberta and back toward around maybe Saskatchewan and into around British Columbia. A lot of that wildfire smoke looks like it's going to be heading our direction from some truly massive wildfires taking place up into parts of Canada. So keep an eye on that. We'll be keeping our eyes on it, so keep it tuned to News 12 for more on that. Want to remind you, if you'd like to know more about amateur radio, I'm going to try to get out to this tomorrow so that I can see a little bit more about what's going on and meet some of my fellow amateur radio operators. The McMinn County Amateur Radio Club, their 19th annual Ham Fest will be tomorrow, or if you're watching this on Saturday, it'll be Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. It'll cost $5 to get in, but that gets you a door prize drawing ticket. Again, you can get there for over 6 hours at least to see what is so cool about ham radio. Trading, as per usual, at a lot of these shows. Vendors bringing a lot of their products. You can take your ham radio test. More importantly, if you want to get involved in the hobby, get to the Athens Regional Park tomorrow, Athens, Tennessee. Find out more about what's going on with amateur radio and how you, your kids, your grandkids can get involved in a really cool hobby. Great opportunity, and you can find out more by going to McMinn, that's McMinnarc, amateurradioclub.com, if you'd like to know more about what's going on there. Next Friday, if you are a resident of Whitfield County, Georgia, the Whitfield County Emergency Management Agency will be giving away more weather radios for free to county residents. 2 or 3 weeks ago, they gave away 300 weather radios for free, and this time around, they're giving away 200 weather radios. First come, first served, and again, you have to prove you're a resident by bringing a photo ID along. That'll be at Riverbend Park, physical address 1999 Riverbend Road, next Friday, 4 to 7 p.m. Your opportunity to get a piece of equipment that could save your life. By the way, these come pre-programmed by Whitfield County, Georgia EMA, so a good opportunity to learn more about what's going on here, and we've included links to this on my social media pages, so tons of great information available there. Going into the weekend, giving the teachers something to think about. Again, as by the time we get into August and September, we're going to get pretty close to overloaded with requests to come out and visit schools for the fall semester. So if you would like to have our weather personnel, including myself, come visit your school, that's great. We'd love to come out and talk to your kids about weather, the atmosphere, climate change, emergency preparedness, all that really cool stuff. But if you wait for too long, it's going to be difficult to schedule something until maybe close to around the holidays or early 2024. So if you would like to have us visit, please go to our website, wdef.com/weather. Go to the Food City Weather in the Classroom program page and fill out the form. Give us a detailed information about contact, email address, anything in the way of what class level you're talking about, more information about days and times that may be available so we can cross-connect on our schedule. If there's somebody specific you would like to have come out and visit you, we've got 3 weather personnel here right now, so we'd love to be able to see if we can fit your schedule. So let us know, but let us know soon, because as we get into the fall semester, the calendar is going to fill up really quickly, and we also have to deal with sick time, vacation requests, things like that. So, and not to mention severe weather, so that comes up pretty unexpectedly too. So if you'd like to have us come visit, great, wonderful, we'd love to come visit your school, but please get your request in early. If you wait too long, we may not be able to see you until spring semester of 2024, so just please keep that in mind. Once again, tons of information again available on my social media pages, so find me out there somewhere. A couple requests tonight. Emily Casulo had a great vignette on Tech Bite. If you haven't had a chance to watch that, go to our website for more. You can find me on lichess.org, and you can also find me at chess.com if you'd like to play a game of chess while I'm online. My handle is my amateur radio address, and I've got that all over the place on my social media pages as well, so you can find me out there for that. That should do it for tonight. Again, showers, thunderstorms possible this weekend, and some severe weather out there could be a bit of an issue, so keep it tuned to News 12 for the latest. I'll be monitoring weather just to make certain that everything is copacetic around the area. Saturday night, Sunday night, meteorologist Todd Heislip will be here to let you know what's happening on our 11 o'clock newscast both nights. And then Chip Chapman is taking some time off next week, so I'll be in with you in the mornings, and we'll probably be doing weather overtime a lot earlier, maybe before sunup if I can get enough coffee in me, so we'll see how that goes. But I'll be back on the air in the evenings coming up by midweek next week, so you can find out a lot more there. Again, questions, concerns, ideas, check out our forecast at any point in time at wdef.com/weather, and stay tuned for much more coming up again throughout the course of the weekend on our website. Tons of information available there. Got a story idea? Let us know. Send it in. If you see something going on out there and you think we could do a story about it, we can't do a story about it unless you tell us what's happening. And that's, again, a bit of an issue. Our psychic powers are not that great, so we have to rely on the old methods of email or phone call or things like that. But don't ever think that it can't be done. Maybe it can, maybe it can't, but we won't be able to find out until you tell us what your event is or what's going on out there. And sometimes we get overloaded with requests, so we have to pick and choose. But there are times to where things are decently quiet that we might be able to cover your events. You just don't know. So please give us an email with as much detail as possible, as far ahead as possible, or if you see breaking news happening, an accident someplace, a fire, things like that, let us know, please. That's 90% of where our story ideas come from for on air and on our websites come from you. So please consider sending in some information. We'd love to be able to see what you're seeing out there. That'll wrap it up for tonight. I've been on for 26 minutes. Thanks to Facebook for keeping me on this time around. And we'll have this posted to our social media pages a little bit later on. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onig. This has been the latest edition for Friday night, the 14th of July. Weather Overtime, our online video weather blog. Thanks for watching tonight, and stay tuned through the rest of the weekend for more with News 12 on air and online, and have a safe and happy weekend.